good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. And I hope everyone is safe and doing great. So, thank you and joining this webinar series altogether from last 1 month around. And every time the participants are also quite good. So, the number is quite good, and it will definitely give a boost to start this kind of webinars regularly. So today we will discuss about SharePoint Framework Extensions Overview. I will show you various extensions and then types of extensions. We'll see some demos as well. And little thing about me, those who don't know me, I know you most of the people don't know me. So I'm co-founder of TS Info Technologies. So this is after my corporate world or kind of the company job I left, and then I'm starting this. And then I'm a Microsoft MVP from last 6 years, 2014, the beginning. And then I'm a blogger. I wrote articles on SharePointSky.com, enjoysharepoint.com, to technical websites specialized in SharePoint. And I'm also a trainer, speaker, and author. And apart from that, I do love driving as well. And these are quite the company, sorry, the personal details I have. My Gmail ID everywhere. You will see few lines for Bijay. So this is my Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Gmail as well. And so today's agenda, we will see about the introduction, what is the SPFx extensions, and then we'll discuss about application customizer extensions, field customizer extensions, Listview command set extensions, and then if you have any question or something, we will take that as well. If you are not on mute, kindly just mute yourself, and if you have any question or something, then you can come up and you can answer or you can ask that. So first of all, SPFX extensions overview. What is this? Um, this is basically how we can extend the user experience on the modern site or modern pages and the modern list and libraries. So I know a lot of people are still working on the classic SharePoint sites, but if you are using the modern SharePoint experience, then you have these options where you can inject or you can extend the user experience. Uh, Previously, we have the script editor web part, content editor web part, quite popular. A lot of people using that. Still, a lot of companies are using that. So that is pretty straightforward. Take a script and then put it in the page directly. You don't need to do a lot of any Visual Studio or anything. Now, in the modern experience, we have the option where you can do through the extensions. So you can extend the user experience. And when we are saying the extend the user experience, you can customize the notification areas, toolbars, list or library data views. Those things you will be able to do that. There are three types of extensions. One is the application customizer extensions, then field customizer extensions, and command set extensions. So we will see one by one, and I'll create one project where I'll show you the option. If you have not worked on, then that will definitely help you to start with. And then I'll show you a couple of projects or solutions I have, and then how the implementation is. And then we will run in the local, and then I will show you the output as well. So now the application customizer. So what is this application customizers? These are the customizers, or this is the concept where you will add a script or you will access various HTML elements, placeholders, and you can extend those placeholders. So if I'll show you these two examples here, um, you can see here this I put on menu. Before coming to this thing, so let us create the project, and we will see how it will be or what is the steps that you will follow to create this project. So I'll open the Node.js command prompt. These video recordings will be available, I'm sure. If you have missed anything, then you can check out those videos where you require the setup to do for SPFX development. So I will just do this one. So SPFX, let's say I'll deep dive demo, something like that, and I will go to the folder. So SPFX deep dive demo, and Now we will run the SharePoint generator. So Microsoft / SharePoint, and it will ask us a couple of things. And here somewhere we need to define that we want to go for an extension rather than a web part. So let it just create, and meanwhile it will create. I will explain the other things as well. So as I was talking about this example, so if you'll see here, there's a custom menu which we have added here. And in this case, if you'll see here, there is a home icon, news icon like this. And I can see here, I will give the solution name. So I'll click on enter here. Meanwhile, it will create. I'll keep on switching this. So I will explain about these things. One thing is you can see here, there's a good morning message is there. The other one is some menu items over there. And this is where you actually, this is a custom HTML, simply custom HTML that I took it. And I will show you from where I took it. So if you'll see here is from the W3 school. So you'll see there's a menu like this. And on this, basically, if you'll see, there's certain kind of CSS are there. Some classes are there, and then there's a div tag, and then within that, some HTML has been added. So if you look at this, if I will say the previous approach, how we usually do, you can simply open a, or you can take a script editor web part. You can just paste the code as it is, and it will come. Or if you want to put it in the master page, you can do that. If you want to use a content editor web part, you can just copy everything, and then you can save somewhere and then give the path over there. So that's the thing how we usually do that. But if you look at this thing now, so what we are doing now in this case is we will take this, but there is a different approach where we will put that. That is the extension. So this is one example. The other example, if you'll see here, I have changed a background color on this. So this one, if you'll see here, there is an orange background color that I have put it. So I don't know what's happening. Let me just close it. Let me just open it once again. So let me open the other project. Meanwhile, we will see this. So what I'm doing here is I'm opening a project where we have used the exactly the same code, and we will see how the menu is appearing. So in this case, if you'll see here, this is the project where we just selected extensions and then we selected application customizer. So this is the thing that we have done. Once this will create, I will show you. Probably maybe the name is, I will just try one more time, and then I will show you that. So I'll just try one more time to create a project here. So you can see here probably the name was creating the problem anyway. So I have created a solution and demo, and then I will select the SharePoint Online latest, and then we'll use the current folder. This is up to these things, whatever we already know these things when we are developing a web part as well. Now in this case, we will select the extension. This is the step where we are differing from developing a web part and the extension. Once you select this extension, then it will ask you what kind of extensions that you are creating. And in this case, if you will see, I'm the application customizer. So I'll select application customizer, and then it will ask us the name. So you can say here demo uh, extension, and then the description, and it will create the project. So that is the only difference that we are doing when you are developing a extension. Now, meanwhile, it is creating this. So if you'll see here, the solution will be like this when you are doing an extension. And here, the important files we'll discuss. First of all, if you'll go to the source folder and then extension and then your name, and then there is the application customizer TS file. So in this, if you'll see by default, the base application customizer will be imported. We don't need to do anything on that. And then you have the on INIT method, which will return a promise. And then this is the render code where we need to write our code here. So whatever you want to do, in this case, if you'll see here, I am adding one I'm adding a menu to this site. So that code we are going to write over here, the HTML part of it. So if you'll see here, there are two placeholders that we are talking about here. One is the top placeholder and the other one is the button placeholder. So we are retrieving the try create content, and then when you will give the placeholder top, so it will create, you'll get to access this top placeholder. And once you have this, then you can, this is the code where you are writing your HTML. Now this HTML, if you'll see here, we have the same HTML, we are using the same div, hyperlink, and the difference we are doing here is the way we are retrieving or we are accessing or we are assigning the classes for the style set. I'll show you the style set, style as well, style set. And then this good morning message that, and you can see here I'm getting this value also, the user display name. So that's what we are doing. Now on this, if you'll see, there's a placeholder button is there. So in the placeholder button, I'm adding the same links, but instead of my custom CSS, which is top nav or active like this, in this case, I'm using the apps classes. So what will happen is this, the background color or this will come as it is according to your theme. So whatever the theme you have selected in the site, those things it will inherit. And then we have the same links. And then dispose method, if anything, whatever is using, it will dispose those things, whatever you have used here. Now this is the thing that we are doing in the .ts file. And if I will open the JSON file here, few important things are there. One thing is the ID. So this is your ID for this customer, extensions, and then the component type. So if, in this case, if you'll see here, it is an extension, and the other one is the type. So the type of extension here is the application customizer. That's what we are doing on this JSON file. And next, one more important thing is when you are doing an extension, you cannot test it or you cannot run it with your local workbench URL. So you have to have a SharePoint online site URL. So I just put one page URL here. So that's the thing. And then some messages, the variable properties we have assigned it. That's the thing we had done. The important file here is the CSS file, SCSS file in fact. And in this file, if you'll see here, uh, we have imported from SP Office UI Fabric. So this is the classes which will actually, in this case, if you'll see here, we are taking the theme. So the background color is coming from the theme. And but this is the classes which we have taken from the HTML file. So if I'll actually show you here, these are the classes. So if you'll see here, top nav, a a hover, a active. So this is the classes I just copied as it is, and I have put it over here. So if you'll see here, these are the classes we have taken. Now once you took this, and in that CSS file you can give dollar and then style.app or the style.top. So these are the classes that you can use. So top nav, and for that we have imported the CSS file, SCSS file as well. So you can see here, import style, so that we can use styles dot and we can access all the properties or the classes here. So that's the thing we have done. Now once you have this thing, then what we can do here is, still this project is getting created. So now on this we can actually run the gulp serve command. So I will run gulp serve, and what will happen is it will open the URL whichever you have mentioned in the JSON file, in the serve.json file, whatever the file you have. You can see here, this is the site URL online. I have created a site pages, and then there's the URL that I provided here, and this will open. So now it should open this. So, and meanwhile it is opening, let me tell you the deployment also. So the deployment is same how we are doing in the a web part. It is same like that. So what you'll do is you can run the commands to build the project, then you will package the solution by using the package command. So basically the sorry, you can, before that you can bundle it. So gulp bundle hyphen zip, and then gulp package hyphen solution hyphen zip. So that's the thing that that you are going to do when you will deploy it. And it will be same thing, it will create the package under this SharePoint, and then under this solution it will create the package file, which is the SPFx file. And then this package file you have to upload into the SharePoint app catalog site. Make sure you have app catalog site, and once you upload that, then it's the same process. You will go to the site, you will say add an app, and then finally you will add that app, and then it will appear. So let it open. So you can see here, probably I didn't click on. So every time it will open, it will ask this load debug script, because you have to, it will show that the page has onset scripts. So load it, and once you load it, it will open the same page. You can see here application SPFx application customizer, and I have this both the message as well as the menus over there. And if you scroll down, you can see here by default this is coming on the black background, but if you'll see this one, it has the theme background, so which is quite a sky blue or something like that, and then the links also. So that means you have the option where you can inherit also the permission from this. And the deployment, as I said, it will be same like web parts, so we'll not go for that one, it will take some more time. And now this is how you can work with a application customizer. Let me quickly show you the other demo on this, and that is basically how we can add a CSS. Let's say you have a lot of people ask, how we can add a CSS into that. Like they, every time you are using the same way, you will put a script editor part if you are using. But in this case, how we are going to do this? So hyphen cost, this is a solution that I have, and I will open this in Visual Studio Code. Now, once you have that, let me just close it because we don't need this now. Now here, if you'll see again, it will be the creation of the project is same, and also you have the deployment is same, whatever you have for these extensions. the code that we are using here is a CSS file which will change the background color. So if I will see, I have a custom CSS file. Let me open the site content. I'll show you this. Just a one class is available on that. One or probably two classes are there. Let me open this. Yeah, I think customs.css, and this is the CSS I have. So these two classes, and then there's background color over there. And on this, basically we need to refer it. Now remember, I have added into the site asset, and this is the class in this library. But make sure when you are adding somewhere, you can make it available. At least those, everyone should have read permission for this one. So on this, now if you'll see, what we are doing here is I'm just creating a CSS link here. So if you look at this code is a code where we are creating a link. So like how we will give a link path. So you will give the href, and then the style sheet you will write type equal to text or CSS, and then inject this one. I mean this. So before the end of head tag, it will add this. So when you will add this, so ultimately what will happen is your CSS will start reflecting over there. So the difference when you are doing a script editor, you are injecting over there in that. But here what we are doing is we are creating, and ultimately we are putting over there in this, so that it will take that path of that link. Now when I'll locally, if you want to test it again, in this case also you cannot test with your local workbench. So I have put this URL, and then if you'll see here, I have put this CSS path. So this CSS path, since this is locally we are running, I have given it over here. But if you are if you want to when you will deploy, so you can actually add it. You can see here I have added this path here. So this is CSS path that you need to give. So once once you will give this path, then your CSS will reflect. So if you'll say where this this thing I'm taking, nothing, I just put I just do a inspect, and then I just added that element. You can see here somewhere it will be there. The class name should be there. So I have taken from there. So that's the thing that we have done. But if rechanging, then you can have a, you can have a class name which you can use it. That's up to you how we can take the object, because the class is important, else your CSS will not reflect. So then when you will run this, it will work. So the background color will change like this. I'm not showing this with the same process. um, Now let's see. So this is about a few of the things that you can use in application customizers. And even let's say you want to make it to dynamic these links, you can make it. You can put it in a list, and then you can read these items, and then you will be able to um, uh, assign these links and text. I mean the hyperlink text and the URL over there in that method. So where we are hard coding the links, you can read it from a SharePoint list, and you can add that those things as well. So you can do like this in case of the application customizers. Now the field customizers. So when we are talking about the field customizers, there we will be modifying the list views. Now when we are modifying the list views, this common example where you can change the background color like this. You can see here. So here what I'm doing is there's a percentage. I have write some code over there which will check if the percentage is this much, then you can have a red color. If it is between this and this, you can put it yellow color or something like that. So anything you want to do with the list views, list or library views, then you can use a list view customizer. So as I showed you in the previous in the example, when we created it, you will select the list customizer, sorry, field customizer, and then the project will get created where you can work with the list view. And here when you will these three important methods are there on this field customizer. So this the first method anyway, it will be everywhere where it will trigger before the DOM is ready. And once your DOM is ready, then there's on render cell is there. So this will trigger when the cell is rendered. So this is a cell, and when it is rendering, we are taking the value. Those things will be there, and then your on dispose cell. So on dispose cell, this is just to free up the resources. We are not using much on these things. So this is just to free up the resources which we are using. That thing it will do. So I'll open the project. So I will just go here. And I have a project here. So field customizer demo. So let me close the other project. And on this, so this is a field customizer. And here what we are doing is we have a couple of things we need to remember here. The first one is the TS file. This actually contains our logic. Another one is the CS file. So if you look at this example, what we are doing here is I have taken a internal name as percentage completed. Now, why this internal name? This you can take anything as long as if you want to create a site column, you can take this. Here, if you'll see, I have a site column on this name. So I have taken this one, and then what I'm doing is, because it should not run for every code or every field it will render. So I've just taken if it is percentage completed only, then it will go and check, else it will not check. And event dot field value will actually um, get the field value. So if I will show you how exactly my list looks like in this case is, this is the list. So I have a title column, I have the percentage completed column. And this column, if you'll see here, the internal name is percentage completed same. And if you'll see here, there's a percentage, and we will show in the color manner that I showed in that example. Now on this, if you'll see, the code I'm checking here is I'm getting the field value. TypeScript, if you know this, just a variable that I have taken, and then I'm checking if it is less than 50%, then the class I am as red. And if I look at this CSS class, SCSS class, again the same way, I have created three classes: green, red, and yellow. And on this, I'm just have a width 100% and then height is 25 pixels, so that it will come properly. And the font is a font color will be white. So I have taken these three classes here. Now, then the event value, so that the value will also appear in the column. And then if it is greater than 50 and less than 90, then it is yellow. And if it is green, then if it is greater than, or it will be, obviously it will be greater than that. And if it is greater than that, then I'm making it to green. So this is the logic that I have implemented on this. Now here, couple of things we need to remember. One is the column name that you are taking. So if you look at here, I have a percentage completed here. Now the percentage completed column, you can, if you'll go to the assets, there is elements.xml file. So what this file will do is, whenever you will deploy this solution, or when you will add it to, in fact, when you will add it to your site collection. So when you will put this package into the app catalog, and then you will come back and then you will open your site collection, you will add it. So when you will add it, it will create the site column here. So if you'll see here, this is a site column which it is creating. And this one, what it will do is, if you have a site column, it will create it, and then when you will deploy this, the logic will be implemented or will be attached to that particular list, and it will perform as it is. But if you have any column which is there previously, or which is there already, like a list column, which is where the internal name will not be same. If you'll see here, there's internal name and the display name. So when you have that column, then you have to use the PowerShell. I will show you that shortly. And so make sure when you will deploy this, if you want the column to be get created, then you can go to this SharePoint assets, then elements.xml file, then you can add the column here. So once you add the column, then anytime you will go to the site, it will create a list and you will add that column, then it will be the result will come. or you can see the changes. Now when you will locally, when you will see, you can see here team projects. I have the list, hopefully this is the name, yeah. And then I'm saying this is the percentage completed column that that it will, since it will open in your local local browser, so you can see this. Now let me just run it. So if you'll see here, I will run cursor. I'm sure it will take some time. Yeah, so if you'll see here, now it is opening my list. So you can see here, this is the list. I'll say load debug script, and now you can see here the color, everything is you can see it. Now why it is you can see it, because this is a column that I have added in the sort.json file, so you can see this. But same thing when you will deploy the it will create a site column, and then if you have an existing list, it will not work. So how it will work? So if you'll go to you can use the PNP, and then you can use this script to actually where you can apply the field customizer to an existing list column. So you can just connect to the site, you can get the list, and then the field name or the column name, and then this is the client side component ID. So if I'll show you in the Visual Studio, um, if I will go to this manifest.json file, you can see here there is the ID. So this ID you can add it over here. So once you add it, and then you'll update it and execute this, it will attach, and you will be able to see this thing on an existing columns as well. So this is how you can work with the field customizers. So you can use the CSS, you can use you can implement your logic based on what your view should. And then while deployment, two things you have to do. One thing is uh, if you are doing with any site column existing is there, it will come. Else, if you want to attach it to an existing list, let's say there's a list already is created, the column name is not same, and then those things, then you can actually attach through PowerShell. As I showed you, there's a PNP command which you can run, and it will attach to the existing list. So that's how you can work with the field customizers. Next, I will show you is the command set, list view command set. So the list view command set, let me just close this folder. So this list view command set is where you are going to add a custom actions. So if you are if you will if you are familiar with any kind of custom actions that you have developed in using client side component in the classic SharePoint experience, you will be able to see here same thing to the command bar. You can see here there is a button which is get details, and it is showing me the details, course, and then the name, and then duration 60, and then hours. It is showing like that. So if I'll show you the list, uh, the list is you can see here there's a SharePoint trainings list, and it has all these trainings, and then duration is there. So when you actually add this, or when you will click on there's a button will come, and then it will show a message. Now these are the use cases where you can use the command set. So basically you can create buttons, you can decide when this button will appear, and then you can decide, or you can write the logic what you are going to show in that basically in that extensions. So or on that button clicks, basically what you can show. So for this, what we will do here is I will just open one more project. So if I will, so you can see here, I will just open the code using Visual Studio code. So here also we have a couple of things that we have to remember. First of all, when you are creating the project, make sure you will select the list view command set. So it will ask you what is the extensions that you want to develop, and then you can select list view command set, and it will take some time. It will then it will create the project and you will have the solution ready. And as I opened in this, you can open this in your Visual Studio Code. Is the code editor that I prefer to use as well. And on this, if you will go to the JSON file, you can see here manifest.json file under the source and then extension folder. Now here, if you will see, you have one thing is which is telling about your extension. First of all, the ID and then the component type and then the extension type. One thing is this one. The other thing, in the items, if you'll see here, there is a command one, and then there's command two, you can see here, and this the title, that whatever the title it will come, I have added it as get details, and then there's another button is there, another title. So this is where if you want to add more columns, you can add more columns into that. Now the other one is if you will go to the command set TS file. In this file, we have in fact, all these three methods are quite important. First of all is on init. So if you, it will return a promise, and then it will trigger this one. Now, when the list view updated, so this event actually will say, or you can implement the logic where you want to know when our button will be visible. For example, in this case, let's say I select one item or select multiple item, what will happen on that? Because when you actually will select anything, it will do a or anything, you will any change will happen to the list view. In fact, it will be a list or library view. And then the event triggers for each of the commands. So here I have two commands, and it will trigger for both the elements, and the UI will be re-render again. So, and in this case, the event parameter, it will have the information on which basically that command will render. And here, let's say in this case, if you'll see here, it is checking just if the selected row dot length equal to 1, then it will be visible. Now this is if you select more item, then the UI will be re-render, and then it will go. You will not be able to see because the condition is not satisfying in this case. And we are retrieving by the name here, command underscore one. So you can change actually the name also, anything if you want. So, and the other button, since I didn't write any logic for this, so the other command, which is our command underscore two, that will actually display every time because I didn't put any logic over here. So this is the work of this on list view updated command. The other one is if you will on execute command, if you'll see here, we are defining what will happen when you will click on these buttons. So the first button, if you'll see here, if it is returning the command underscore one, so based on your if the event dot item ID, it will basically return this. So if it will the command one, the first button, then you will see here I am taking a variable, and this is how you can get the value from a particular field. So in this case, if you'll see here, event dot selected rows 0, because anyway I know that only one item will be selected, because if you will select multiple items, then the button itself will not be visible. So if you have more items, then you cannot always take 0. Since I have only one item, so I know that, and then that's the reason I put event 0. Now I'm taking the title value, and then I'm taking the duration, which is actually another column. So if you'll see here, this is the another column here. On this, then there's an alert I'm showing here, course, and then this is the title. So basically this is the variable, and this is how you can use it. And hyphen I have given duration, and then this much hours. So this is what I have done. And then in the command 2, if you will see, what we have taken here is this the default property that we have taken. So it's for the second button, I have not implemented any logic over here. So that's the one thing. So this is the two files that we talked about. Now there is quite another file that we are using is the, if you'll see here, sorb.json file. Now in this file again, where you want to, you cannot run it in the local workbench. So we put this URL. So this is my list URL. You can see it here. And then the location. Now there are, this is the location where you can decide actually where um, my buttons will appear. So in this case, I have taken the um, command bar. So it will appear in the command bar. So command bar is nothing but this one. So it will appear over here. There's two more values are there. So we can use which will appear only in the you can take, I think one is just to take list view command set. So in that case, what will happen is it will appear in both the cases. Both the cases means both the places means this is the command bar, and then you can see here this is the dialog box. When you click on this dot, and then this is the menu which will open. And if you want to add it over here, then you can also use that. So this command bar, then if you put command set, it will take it will add into both the places. And there is also one more where it will come in the CV menu as well, just only that if you don't want to appear in the command bar. So that is the place where you can add it. So in this case, if you'll see here, we have added in the command bar, so we can see the buttons in the command bar only. That's the one thing. The other thing is, if you'll go to elements.xml file, here also quite a few things are important. One thing is, if you'll see here, it is on SharePoint assets and then elements.xml file. In this file, there is an XML file, and on this, basically, um, there is a custom action, and the registration ID is 100. So 100 means it will appear, I think, for the custom list. If we'll put for 100.01, and then it will appear in the libraries as well. So that means when you will deploy it, if you will not deploy, just locally you are testing this in the server, in the sort.json file, even if you'll put the list URL or even if you'll put the library URL, it will come. Both the places it will come. But when you actually deploy it, so when you will deploy it, then in that case, whatever the registration ID you have mentioned, then there only it will come. So in this case, if it is just 101, then it will appear only for 100, and if you'll put for 101, for example, in this case, if I will just copy it and I will put it here, and I will put here 101, then actually it will now appear in both the places, in the both the types. Like it will come in the custom list as well as it will appear in the document libraries. So based on that only you can modify this elements.xml file, and once you modify this element.xml file, when you will deploy, the changes will reflect. Now, since I have put on this sorb.json file, you can see it here on this. What I'll do here is we can um, run it. So let me just go here and I will run gulp serve. So you can see here now it will open in our local workbench. The SharePoint site, online site will open in our local workbench basically. And we should be able to see the buttons. I don't know what is happening. And we have also sometime else show the deployment also.
Did you stop old one gulp serve command?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I have stopped that one. So if you'll see here, now it is loading. So you can see here by default, this another button is coming. And if you'll click on that, you can see here something it is showing. And then if I'll just select one item, then you can see here get details button is appearing. And then you can see the message. The moment I'll select more item, you can see here, as I said, the get details button and all other buttons are not visible, but our another button is visible because there is no logic implemented on that. So this is how actually we can use the list view command sets. And what we'll do is we have some time. So what we'll do is I will deploy it and then we will see on the SharePoint site as well. So I will just stop it. So you can see here, I will just stop it. And then best thing is always I'll prefer to have a clean. And the commands are same, whatever for the deployment of SPFx thing. So I will run this gulp build. And once it is built successfully, we will run the bundle command. So you can see here. And then we will create the package file. So you can see here when you will create it, actually it will create under this solution. You can see here, this is our package file. So I'll open this. And I will now go to my app catalog site. This is the app catalog site you can see here. And I will go to apps for SharePoint. And here I will just drag this. I'll just deploy it. You can see here the last one is deployed. Now, if I will go to this particular site, so it is the SPFx training site. And on this, I'll go here. I'll click on add an app. And on this, you can see here, this is the SPFx command set client set solution we have. It will take some time, just a couple of seconds it should take. Yeah, now you can see here it is ready now. If I will open my SharePoint trainings list, so this is basically the list. And you can see here by default, the another button is coming and it is on the live on the SharePoint site. And if I'll select this and I'll click on get details, you can see you'll be able to see the duration as well. There's also, since we have deployed for, you can see here we have deployed for both list and libraries. So there is a library which is available on this. I think this one, training documents. You can see here I have this a library. So just to show this, I have added the duration column as well, because that's where our logic is. And then there's a title also I have put, but this is a document library. You can see here, let me just do it. You can see here another button is coming, and if I will select one item, then I should be able to see get details. If you'll click on that, then you can see here the title and the duration, both the things are coming. And if I'll select multiple, so you can see both the things has gone now. So this is how you can work with the SPFx command set extensions, list view command set extensions as well. So this was there for to show in this webinar. And next webinar is on one of the very popular topic, UI Fabric with SPFx and by Harsha. So do attend this. And if you have any question or something, then we can take off now.
Yes, thank you, Bijay, for your time and sharing your knowledge with the community. I think most of the questions are already answered, but if somebody still has some questions, please unmute yourself and you can go ahead and ask. I'll stop the recording with this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one question. It's